Burton Snowboards presents Winter Waves. This film is an introduction to the sport of snowboarding. The snowboard is becoming known in the nation's snow belt as the new way down. Snowboarding is attracting surfers, sailboarders, skateboarders, and skiers who use similar skills of balance and quick-footedness. Whether riding on the hills of a local golf course or carving down an untracked mountain, the sensation of surfing in snow is worth experiencing. Snowboarding has been in existence for over 15 years, but in the past 4 years, its popularity has become overwhelming. The Snurfer, produced in the mid-60s by the Brunswick Corporation, was the first crude prototype of the snowboard. Today's snowboards incorporate much of the same technology used in the production of skis: fiberglass, hardwood laminates, P-Tex, metal edges, even a binding system a lot like the shell of a ski boot. Although progress has been made in the area of technology, snowboarding is probably the simplest of winter sports in the equipment sense. The only intermediary between the rider and the snow is a pair of winter shoes and the board. It's because of this simplicity that snowboarding is such an easy sport to pick up. Snowboarding is permitted by more and more ski areas each year. The new binding technology has enabled snowboarders to get on and off the lifts, much like a skier. Snowboarders are anxious to see their sport gain the same acceptance at ski areas that telemarking amassed in just a few short years. rider is situated on the board in a sideways stance like a surfer. Turns are initiated by shifting the body weight and applying pressure with the feet. The upper body of the arms maintains stability and balance. Snowboarders from across the country have an opportunity to match their skills against others at the National Snowboarding Championships held in Vermont every March. The competition consists of a downhill and a slalom. This year's champion in both events was Andy Coghlan.
All right, big weekend for you. $1,000, 2 first places. How does it feel?
I'm pretty happy. Couldn't be much more happy. Things turned out, it was really close competition. Turned out the best for me, I think. It was close. Had a great time. I think everyone did.
Where's snowboarding going? It seems like it's getting pretty popular. Do you see any end to it?
Yeah, we had over 100 competitors here today. I think it's going to go all the way. It's just doubling every year. It's going to keep going. It's the best sport. Board skiers go snowboarding. Yeehaw.
After this year's Nationals, several Burton team riders got together to travel for some spring snowboarding. Andy Coghlan, Mark Heingartner, Chris Karol, and Jake Burton Carpenter loaded up the van and headed west. Driving through Nevada, Mark spotted the Ruby Mountains. Restless and bored, the boys decided to drive into the range and hike up one of the smaller peaks for a little afternoon snowboarding session. While approaching the mountains, a helicopter flew overhead and landed in a nearby field. Jake had been heliboarding several times and claimed to be familiar with helicopters. It didn't take the guys long to realize that when the time was right, a hijacking mission was definitely in order. A closer look at the helicopter confirmed the decision to go for it. After that hair-raising takeoff, the boys knew that this trip was going to be worth every bit of the trouble they were getting into. They landed the chopper just below the highest peak, and in a flash, the gang was off on their first run without even taking time to admire the view. With a whole mountain in front of them, Andy and Jake decided to split off and find some different terrain. While carving some figure eights, Jake led Andy into a drift. Andy crashed, leaving Jake to do some riding on his own. It didn't take Andy long to get back on track for some solo riding himself. Meanwhile, Chris and Mark temporarily followed Andy and Jake's tracks. Hungry for some virgin snow, Mark led Chris on a traverse to a beautiful cliffside slope without a track on it. Mark got so excited he tried to jump off a 20-foot boulder. The result was a good head start for Chris, with Mark right after him. Eventually, all 4 boarders hooked up on a traverse and continued to ride the next face together. Once they got into the trees, Mark took another fall and had to play catch-up. On the last descent, Chris led Andy and Mark to some of the best snow of the day. Once again, Mark got a little too radical and caught a face full of Ruby Mountain powder. Jake took an alternate route to the helicopter, and his gamble paid off as he found himself atop a beautiful chute, all alone with some of the deepest and steepest terrain of the day. On the flight back to the van, the boys had to concentrate on making their getaway as fast as possible. Once in the van and on their way, they all knew that they had experienced the kind of day all snowboarders dream about. So this winter, when you're tired of the cold and snow, get yourself a snowboard and start surfing some winter waves.